Another podcast video, and today we're going to talk about perspective. Now, I feel like it's important to have a perspective, right? We all have our own way of looking at life and stuff like that, and we all see things from our perspectives and how we feel like life is, and the perception that all of our five senses gives us to be able to understand something, comprehend, and use it to our advantage. But this is my thing, right? You cannot have work ethic, mentality, and then no perspective, right? But not just any perspective, but a perspective that doesn't match your work ethic and your mentality. Because you could say, I want to be disciplined all you want, and you could go to the gym every day. But without that perspective of the reason why I'm going to the gym is for this reason why, eventually you're going to stop going to the gym. The reason why a lot of us fail in life or we're not successful as we want to be is because we don't have the perspective to match our actions and the work ethic we have or the stuff that we do. Let's say you're in college, you're a college student, right? And you want to go to this school, and when you graduate, you just the job or the major you want to pursue, this is it, right? Having a perspective of while I'm in school, I'm going to try to get hands-on experience and try to get close to that job as much as possible. And to make sure I have a backup plan if it doesn't work out is a perspective that a lot of people that's in college should have, because this sets you up to be able to pursue that job at a faster rate. And then once you graduate, you already have hands-on experience and hands-on learning. No, don't sit back in class and go to class and then, enjoy the college life, but you're not having that what if mindset, because when you don't have that what if mindset, it won't drive you to be able to pursue what you want to do to the fullest extent. So intentional with our thoughts, what we're doing and why we're doing it and what's the reason, and perspective helps you understand that. Perspective is what helps people achieve their goals, because you can have a goal, but if you don't have a system behind that goal to get to that goal, then you're never going to get that goal. Anybody can have any goal they want in life. If you don't have that perspective to get that goal, then how long will it take you to reach that goal? How long does it really take to reach that goal? Building that perspective we need. How do we build it? What do we look for? Okay, look at the way you want to think and the way you want to carry yourself, and then think about how you think right now and how you carry yourself right now, and then compare the two and see where's the differences at. So once you find those differences, all you have to do is be able to find those differences, but apply it every day, because it takes what 90 days to break a habit, or whatever the case may be. However many days it takes to break a habit is how many days you need to be applying that new perspective into your life. Because once you start doing that, there'll be no room for any old mentality or old habits that you used to have with the perspective that you used to have. Or, I know an example, or I use prime example. You ever try to tell somebody something about something and they didn't want to take your advice, or they didn't want to take your reasoning into consideration? Is because they don't have a perspective meant to have being open-minded. They're not used to having people tell them things and making them critically think and then go back on it and be able to understand why that person said with the stuff that they said. That's why communication is so hard, because we're used to listening, but we're not used to taking in and processing and then adding it into our lives so that we can learn something and then be able to give it to somebody else. We spend time thinking that we know it all, we figured it out, we know what to do, but we don't, because if we did, we wouldn't be where we're at right now. And the whole purpose of life is to grow and to live a fulfilling life. We don't want to live a life where we did this, we did that, but we could have did way more. And the only way for you to fully live your life to the fullest is to be able to have the characteristic traits that you need to be able to pursue that type of life. So you be and have a fulfilling life. Um, I say this is so important, because how many times have we failed at something? How many times have we not been consistent or not committed? How many relationships have we failed? How many times have we been heartbroken, right? And we choose to have the mindset that didn't help us fix in that situation. So over time, we realize that we need healing. We need to fix this. We need to change that. But we could have had a head start on life or in those situations if we were to have the perspective that we need to have in that moment. You know what I'm saying? It's like perspective is everything, man. Like the way you think, the way you perceive life, the way you just see things, the way you just go about stuff is all due to this right here. And this right here can be influenced and it can be changed and manipulated if we're not building the right perspective to protect our minds from that happening, protecting our minds from the outside source, protecting our minds from things that doesn't align with the things that God has planned for us or whatnot. So if you watch this video, right, Two things take away. Don't care about nothing else I just said. The two things is your perspective shapes and builds a reality and builds a life that you want to have. And you cannot have a good work ethic without a good perspective, because you'll be working hard for no reason. You want to have the perspective that matches everything you do in life. You want to have the perspective that's going to uplift you and bring you to better places in life. A lot of reasons why people have reached success and become wealthy is because they already imagined it inside their minds and they already believed it inside their minds. So they started to live like it without having to be somebody now or pump fake or go in the world pretending. But they had a life of abundance, and that perspective of abundance is what gave them what they needed from to become wealthy, to become rich.